Is the writing on the wall and you need multi-generational living? Well, I've got the property perfect for you. Hey guys, this is Galen Parker with Living in Richmond, Virginia. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can stay up to date with everything that's living in Richmond, Virginia. So we're at a property here off of Chevelle Drive. And if you're thinking, well, where is that? You're perfectly located in that pocket between Hull Street Road, Powhite Parkway, and Chippenham Parkway. So you're close to a lot of the shopping centers, but you could also jump on to 288 or Powhite and be right at Westchester Commons in about 15 minutes. So this one is really great. So think maybe Monacan High School, Providence Middle School, and I believe A.M. Davis as the elementary school. What makes this property probably perfect for multi-generational living is the fact that it's got a finished upstairs, but also has a finished basement. What also makes it unique, given that this zip code is 23235, another desirable one if you're thinking about where you want to be in Chesterfield, the average price point is about $419,000. Well, this property is on the market currently for $399,000. So you're already below the average, but that's pretty much the only thing that's average in this house. If you don't believe me, let's go for a tour. But what you found in this home is a stunningly renovated residence where modern elegance meets everyday comfort. This 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 2,300 square foot home is gracefully nested on 0.4-acre lot, offering the perfect blend of sophistication and space. Now, from the moment you step inside, you'll be captivated by 2 expansive living rooms filled with natural light and a chef-inspired kitchen featuring quartz countertops, premium stainless steel appliances, and refined finishes. A fully finished basement designed for versatility, the spacious laundry room adds convenience under the stairs. Upstairs and downstairs, every detail has been thoughtfully curated to create a sense of warmth, comfort, and luxury. This is the location that will definitely satisfy all of your needs. All right, you tell us what you thought of this property. Was it the primary suite downstairs? Was it the hardwood floors upstairs? Or was it that kitchen or the bathroom renovations that really caught your eye? Now, perhaps this property is just not the property for you. You're thinking, hey, I need something a little bigger or even smaller or in a completely different area that I've seen on your YouTube channel. And if that's the case, well, then that's fine. Myself, Galen Parker, hit me up in the contact below, or my business partner, Jared Davison. We will do everything we can so that the next property you see is the one that you want to make your home. But for now, that's it for Living in Richmond, Virginia. Have a great day.